My name is Katie. I work as a paediatric nurse with young children, newborn babies up to about 16, 17. You're there to do everything for them. You check their pulse, you check their temperatures, under your arms. You give medication. You're not ticklish, are you? And then, look after them, make them feel better. What have you got?
36.6.
Perfect! Sometimes you do see things that are hard. You see children that are involved in road traffic accidents and things like that. They can be so upset and in a lot of pain, which can be really difficult. We do 12.5-hour shifts. So, spending time with the people that you love is quite hard. But I love being with families. I love being with the children. I love seeing them get better and knowing that you've had an impact in that. I wouldn't do anything else. I grew up in Glasgow, in Scotland, in a little town called Bishopbriggs. We grew up as a practising Catholic family, and I can remember going to church with my parents as a young child and, kneeling on the pews and playing with a car or pretending my fingers were Irish dancers. The whole church was like a big extended family. They've seen you grow up, they've seen you celebrate your first communion, they've seen you have your confirmation, and then they see you as a young adult. It's hard to define your faith. My faith is quite a big part of my life. I think really it's just a part of me. Deep down it's about being a good person, living your life in a positive way and, being fair to people and loving people and treating people as you want to be treated. Fighting for people who need to be fought for and looking after sick and feeding the homeless and living the way that Jesus would want you to live. Praying is something that I do often. I pause and try and just have a quick conversation with God and just let him know what's going on and what's worrying me or what I'm thankful for the day. Vivette and I's first date was at a chocolate festival, and we then went on to go and have dinner, and we just didn't really want to leave each other at the end and the first day that we met each other. We've been together for almost 2 years now. We spend a lot of time listening to music, we discuss a lot of things, we wall climb and this is so embarrassing. I love the way that she listens to me. I can talk a lot of nonsense sometimes, but she'll always listen to me and she makes me feel happy and I can just be me and be silly and my good and my bad and know that she'll love me. And I love her back for everything that she is. I don't know how to start this. When I first started to think that I was gay, that I was attracted to women, my faith had a massive impact on how I felt about myself at the time. Deep down inside, there was something that was trying to scream at me saying it was wrong. No, it's fine, you'll just meet a man and you'll get married, just ignore it. And then it pulls you down and I felt like I was lying to myself and I was lying to my family and I was lying to God by not being who I felt I was. It took a long time for me to tell my family that I was gay. I think it took me about 2 or 3 years. But we were going through a lot as a family. Sorry.
Can I get you a tissue?
No, fine. I knew that would happen. Sorry, no.
That's okay.
So I eventually told them, and I told them in a letter. I wrote them a letter knowing that I was going out, and I left it for them on the coffee table. And I left not knowing what the reaction would be. and sniffing. And I remember sitting preparing music for a liturgy service, and I got a text message from my mum saying, "We love you and it doesn't matter." And I came home to open arms and lots of tears and lots of different emotions, but they had to take their time to embrace it and think about it and accept it. You know, when there was campaigns for equal marriage, there was quite a negative spin from the Catholic Church. And for my parents that was hard because, you know, they would see my brother and they would see I, and for them it would be, well, why can one of my children love and marry and one can't? There are three kind of interpretations of homosexuality and faith. You have the conservative approach, quite strict on what the Bible teaches about marriage and relationships being between men and women. But the Bible has so many teachings written thousands of years ago as a way of storytelling and trying to teach people how to live. And we've changed as a society so much since then. And then you have an area in the middle where the Catechism stands, which is the book of rules and teachings set out by the Catholic Church. It accepts that homosexuality exists, but asks you to pray and not to act on these feelings. Then you have the liberal side where they accept that homosexuality is normal and we shouldn't be denying people of loving and sharing their life with somebody. I found a church on the other side of Glasgow, and the priest, he welcomed everybody and said, you know, we're all equal, we're all brothers and sisters, and made me feel that everything was going to be okay. Then when I moved to London, I attended the Soho Masses. To stand in a church surrounded by other LGBT people and to hear the words welcoming specifically LGBT people was, I guess, life-changing. Where I work now, I feel, you know, I'm accepted for who I am, but it might not always be the case for people in different parts of the UK or different parts of the world. I remember having a conversation once with one of the nurses who I'd worked with for such a long time, and she asked me about having children, and I says, oh, you know, it would be quite difficult, and she started to ask why, and I says, oh, well, you know, I'm gay, and she's like, oh, and then she says, well, you know, you should pray, and it'll, I think, will go away, I guess, is what she was meaning. But I just responded to her that I do pray, but I don't pray for that.